Also, I beat Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 last week. That game is great. That game is absolutely excellent. What an incredible game. However, you start to notice around the 60-70% mark in KCD1 that it looks like that picture of a horse that is super detailed on one side and then starts to get more stick figure-y as you go.
Game of Thrones season 5. No.
So
yeah.
The game's main quest is really quite excellent. And then you get to the monastery, and there's a quest you have to infiltrate a Benedictine monastery and assassinate somebody inside it so you can ingratiate yourself to some thieves. And the game starts to rapidly fall to pieces as soon as you start this quest. You go through a lengthy initiate thing where you become a novice at the monastery, and then you're trying to find out which of the other novices is the guy you're looking for, and then you have a guy show you off to every single room and be like, this is where we pray, this is where we eat, and you can't talk while we're eating. And then a bunch of quests about monastery life start to pop up. About like, hey, you got to go do the gardening at this time. And you're supposed to be living the monastery life and doing all these little quests while talking to everybody and trying to figure out who's the new novice that who's actually a thief in his prior life, and what are you going to do with him? Are you going to kill him or try and get him out? And then they finished the tour, and the first dialogue option is, hey, I have to confess, I'm not here to be a monk. I am actually looking for a thief. And the guy goes, wow, that's crazy. And then on the following dialogue prompt is you going, I know it's you. And you click on it. He goes, you got me. And you auto fail like 15 quests.
Oh yeah! Wow, yo, that
and I was just like, I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Is that
I had done nothing. I had no information.
Oh, that's the Skyrim game design principle, isn't it? Oh my god!
This is literally just how the trees were like built out. So what you're supposed to do is leave that conversation and then go through everybody and then eventually figure out it's him and then use that dialogue. But it's there right away.
And it's the person.
It's right there right away in the first conversation.
And it's the guy who's teaching you. Wow. Jesus Christ.
So I killed him, and then I walked out the door next to him, which leads to the courtyard, and I left and I did the quest.
Okay.
And then wait. And then for multiple hours after it, I was getting quest updates for the monastery life quests that failed running in the background according to the time of day they were happening.
Okay. So this is a really interesting case where game design can fail or rule based on perspective and how you make the player feel about the same thing. If what you just described came across the same way as, yo, Saren, blow your fucking brains out, you piece of shit.
Right.
That would have been awesome, right? If you made it feel like you cut through the bullshit because your character has all the right info and you built up to this amazing foil, and then you got rewarded for crushing it that hard. And yes, you didn't get to do all these, but instead we made it feel real good because you've earned this awesome instant shutdown of a mission.
Totally.
You can make that moment great. You can make it feel super good.
I walked into a locked room murder mystery and walked up to the first guy and said, is it you? And he went, yeah.
You know, like that's, you make the player feel like they earned something there and get rewarded for it while everything else gets shut down, and you bypass it because essentially you're skipping. You're doing a fucking a level skip.
Yeah. And you would think that, oh, is that because I snuck around the monastery and read this or learned that or whatever? No. It's not even a bug. It is a design oversight in allowing the player to accuse them on the first conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Just plan for that shit. Make it feel good, you know?
So from that moment on, the game's seams started to really show themselves. Ever since that happened, characters would load it. Every character would load into a cutscene posing, but then snap into the correct place.
Okay.
Hop in across the game got much worse overall.
Yep.
Load times became longer. Just like you could feel the game going, oh, they didn't work as hard on the last third of the game.
The directors are chasing a carrot with a Star Wars movie contract over here. They can't be too busy focused on finishing off what they've got in front of them.
Now, to be fair, this is a Kickstarter game that was made by a group of complete amateurs. So it's actually astonishing that it is the way it is.
Was there a Starbucks cup anywhere in the final chapter?
No. But here's what happened. I got to the end of the game.
Best season ever!
And I got through all the posing, and I got through the seams, and I got to the end, and I beat the game, and the ending started to play. And in the ending, you have a dream sequence in which you talk to a character that's passed away, and it's a very emotional thing after you've gone through this whole journey. And the subtitles completely broke. And instead started to play the subtitles for the opening DLC scene of a DLC that never activated on my file. So if anybody knows the Johanka part of Woman's Lot where they're trying to burn her at the stake, that was the subtitle stuff that was popping off in the game's final dream sequence. Oh, somebody else got that bug also. And I was not able to unlock that DLC, so I guess it's just
oh
it's
my
there.
God, dumb QA funsies are not fun when it's the ending.
And then my character woke up from that dream. I walked outside and was immediately arrested for no crime.
Okay.
From being asleep.
Okay. Whew, boy. All right, so we kickstarted, and then we sputtered across the finish line. We had to meet those deadlines. The pressure was
and this is after 6 years of patches.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
So I got out of jail and then went to do the epilogue. And this game has the weirdest, coolest epilogue I have ever seen in a game. You go, hey, you beat the game and you did it. You solved all the problems here. All right. I want you to go attend a meeting. And in this meeting, you're going to sit there as historical figures, because these are all based on historical figures, sit around and discuss the geopolitics of 1403 Bohemian monarchist
Europe,
like ascension, for like 20 minutes.
Okay. Real shit.
Like straight up, like, this is what's going on with the king. This is what's going on with the army. Okay. This is how the League of Lords is handling it. Just like straight up, like history textbook geopolitics lecture.
Interesting. Okay.
And then they go, hey, Henry, would you like to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? And Henry goes, I would love to do that. And they go, okay, Henry, we need you to go to this other location that is not on this map so you can have a sequel to this game. Can you go do that? And Henry goes, absolutely. I would love to have a sequel to this game.
Okay. Yeah. Get on the boat to the sequel.
You say that. And so you and your boy Hans walk down to the stables and get on your horses and slow walk like 5 kilometers to the edge of the map while they shoot the shit the whole time. And I don't mean like a cutscene.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally get on your horse and slow walk the entire breadth of the map to the edge.
Huh. Does it...
As you guys gab about where you're going and what's up with you guys and how things turned out.
Does it hit like the God of War climb down the mountain?
Oh, it's super long. It's super long.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
It's fucking great.
I like that. I like a good denouement. That's cool. Okay.
And then you make a little camp and he goes, "Are you ready to go?" And you, yeah, and then credits roll. And the game and you literally like crest a hill into the sunset. And then the devs went on social media and went, "We're going to make a second one." So I started playing the second one, which literally cuts to you cresting that hill over the fucking sunset.
Okay. And then seconds later,
like it's not even a different scene. It is a cut.
Yeah.
It is a cut within the same thing. It is taking place 1 second after the end of KCD 1.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen often, but that's really cool. Hell yeah. What they?
So I'm playing KCD 2.
What they should do.
And this is a quantum leap forward. This is a Devil May Cry to Devil May Cry 3 level sequel jump. Mm-hmm. Someone in the chat called it Oblivion 3. And that's exactly how it feels. It looks better. It runs better. It looks and runs better than the first game. In which it looks and runs incredibly. Every interface is adorned with gorgeous, moving, physical objects, as well as historical period piece arts from the 15th century. It is gorgeous top to bottom. The controls have been dramatically improved, etc. And it's just screaming fucking quality.
We fixed it.
We know how to make a video game now. And we put it all into this.
This is what I hear about things like Fear and Hunger and these things where you experience their first foibles into like, okay, we released it, but it barely got out the door, and now we know what to do. Yeah, okay.
It has a proper fighting tutorial very beginning. It has a proper sneaking tutorial, and like the first little while of that game is you and your boy Hans just getting into fucking mishaps and, you know, losing all of your shit and being Metroided. Like you start that game at level 15 of 30. And then Henry gets so dramatically injured that it kicks your ass back down to peasantry. And you get full on Metroided. Like you lose your fucking abilities.
Same engine and asset quality of
it's the same engine. It is CryEngine. It is a dramatically higher asset quality.
Okay.
When I say it looks better, I mean it is a next gen leap up from the first game that also runs like 30% faster.
How many years later did it come out?
6.5.
Okay.
It looks incredible. And it feels way better. And because they knew that almost nobody was going to go back and play the first game, the beginning hours result in Henry getting injured horribly to get Metroided. But also, as you're injured and stumbling around, you have vivid hallucinations of every major event from Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. And then you sit down with your boy Hans and go, "Hey, remember all that shit that happened in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1?" And he goes, "Yeah, this is what happened in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1.
In case you're starting it too.
So yeah, you can totally start at 2. It's not a problem. It's no issue.
Okay. Well,
And right away, the game is just bleeding quality all over the place. It teaches you how to do alchemy, which is important because that's the only way to create save points. You have to make yourself potions. The alchemy minigame in this is improved, but it's also super involved. It is in first person, so you are like you're grabbing herbs and throwing them into a cauldron via player action, and then having to force the boil, and then you're using an hourglass to time how long you're boiling it. Like it's super in-depth, really cool alchemy system.
Were those visions you're describing like straight up meant to be like, watch these, don't play the first one?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
they even show you like cutscenes from the first game with a really strong like blood filter on them to obfuscate the fact that they look terrible.
Okay, so literally, hey, Zone of the Enders, who the fuck is Leo? Shut up and watch this. Okay, cool, got it.
Like if you're playing KCD1 and you're enjoying KCD1 by absolutely all measure, just keep playing KCD1. But there's absolutely no reason for you to feel like you have to play the first one to play the second one.
Well, I think what they should
catch you right up.
They should fix all the problems with Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and then
They did. They released the solution to those problems in KCD2.
No, they should do it in the first game, and then they should do it specifically in the first game so that it feels good the whole way through, and they should call it Xtreme Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah, except then they would introduce new problems. Like Kiwami.
Well, no, because then the game could be called XKCD.
Thank you. There's a little math joke in there for you. That's good, Woolie. That's high quality stuff.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
So you start KCD2 like broke and peasant once again. And you start off losing literally every single piece of gear other than like a burlap sack. And then the game goes, well, fucking figure it out. Go. So I ended up picking a lot of flowers and learning how to make chamomile tea that I could sell for cash. And then I used that cash to buy enough food to travel north in order to get a job as a blacksmith. At which point I encountered a super in-depth blacksmithing minigame that requires you to heat up pieces of metal evenly and then put it on the on an anvil, and then use right trigger to essentially attack the different parts of the blade that you're making and go along like the whole edge, and then flip it to go along the whole edge again and reheat it if necessary.
Now, it sounds like the first game, despite the fact that like there was jank and stuff improved, you were enjoying up until a point, and then it fell apart.
Oh, I was still enjoying it. I was just worried that it was going to actually fall apart and die before I got to the end.
So there's no guarantees that this new version will keep it up all the way through either, even though it is a market improvement over...
You're totally right, which is why I checked. And people were telling me that, oh yeah, definitely the same thing happens. It starts, the further you get in, the more it's... Wait,
like,
hold on.
Nothing you're describing is a guarantee against that. It's a better game so far, but...
Wait. It definitely has like a fucking stability trajectory that's the same as the first game, but it starts off more stable and it stays more stable.
Okay.
Like the basic thing
the
is
drop
that
isn't as hard.
By the end of the game, it never gets as unstable as the first game was when you started. Like the whole graph is so far above that it's like even at its worst, it's not as bad as KCD was as at its best.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, one of the reasons that I waited to beat KCD 1 and start playing now is that the game is receiving its gigantic. We are cleaning the fucking game up and adding a bunch of features into it on Thursday.
I see. Okay.
So I played about 5 hours of it, which is not enough for anything untoward or fucky to happen. And the cleanup patch is coming on Thursday.
Are you planning to back it? Or was it just to see?
No. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm fucking going. it's wild how much. It's really like almost heartwarming to see how much this game improved over the first one. I'm shocked as a Kickstarter game that the first one managed to maintain its stability at all, considering how large of a game it is. Like, we're talking about games the size of like Oblivion and Skyrim, made by a small team who just right up didn't know what they were doing.
Did you hit the accidental thing that I showed you, or is that?
No.
Okay.
That's later.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
But yeah, no, you get to have a lot of fun little interactions right at the beginning of the game where you try and convince your boy Hans, who's a noble, for like 10 minutes. Hey, can you help me work because we're poor? And he's like, no. No, I'm not going to fucking do that. Hans is very much like a Johnny character. Like you described, like it's so awesome that Johnny sucks. Hans Capon sucks. He is a drunk, womanizing, do-nothing shithead noble, but he's also your best bro.
Right.
So he's like constantly negging you and talking down to you because you're not a noble and just not helping you. But he does have your back when it actually really matters.
And you can have long walks to the edge of the map having a good conversation with him.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Like you're like, hey man, we're broke and we can't pay for our food. Can you help me drag these sacks from the cart over to the cellar so they don't beat us? Oh, and he starts going off about the 3 states of man according to the Catholic Church in 15th century, and now he is a protectaris, and he doesn't do labor because that would decrease the value of the nobility in the peasants' eyes, and social order would collapse. And you're like, fucking help me carry the fucking sacks, Hans.
Are we gonna start talking about the 4 humors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Blood, bile, phlegm. Like
absolutely.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
So yeah, this game is it's super cool. It's so slick and it's so fucking interesting. And it's so dedicated to its time period and like trying to render that accurately. It's so fucking cool. And as I'm playing it, I'm like, oh man, Elder Scrolls is so fucking cooked. I don't know, like Bethesda's games have been getting worse since Skyrim.
But like the comparison is like Kickstarter project to like big following versus
KCD2 is not a Kickstarter project.
Okay.
KCD2 is a proper game made with proper resources.
But I guess my impression from the outside has been that like a Elder Scrolls release is an industry event, and
absolutely,
I don't know that Kingdom Come is that.
It sold a couple million copies within a day. It is that game. It is absolutely like big money deal. And it feels like its history as the first game being a Kickstarter game is immaterial. This is a proper big gigantic super wide RPG with tons of mechanical depth. I think so this is going to sound hyperbolic. I think its most direct comparison in terms of scope and shocking quality is probably Baldur's Gate.
That's what I was kind of imagining as the most recent Western RPG.
Like not from a team that you expected to do the biggest, coolest RPG, but it's like gorgeous, plays well, super interesting, mechanically fascinating, etc.
Okay, cool.
Well, pardon me. So if you want to try it, you can try it.
Well, so actually what I was going to say is like this is also with like having just talked about Avowed, right?
Oh, what?
You just took a look at Avowed not too long ago. And I mean,
man, who even cares?
I was going to say that Are we even holding a candle anymore?
No, absolutely not.
Like yeah.
KCD2 has absolutely eaten Avowed's lunch 100 times over.
Okay.
And it's interesting because like Kingdom Come is so mundane and what you would call boring because it takes place in a realistic, like old setting, and Avowed takes place in a fantastical one. But the actual mechanical interaction with the game is so much more interesting in KCD2 than it is in Avowed.
Wait a minute. When did Kingdom Come 2 come out?
2? It was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So they're
February 4th.
Yeah. Okay. So they're released into the same competing space. It's not.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, has it been a minute? And anyway, yeah. The lunch eating is apt as they're both being released in the same window. Yeah.
I would like to point out. Second, I see somebody who really likes Avowed say that's a terrible take. My take is that I don't care anymore. My take is not that Avowed is bad. My take is that I am much more interested in this other thing than I am in that other thing. That's it. My interest does not denote quality, which is, I wish it would, because that'd be awesome as fuck.
Maybe if they've rolled out like Furry Rex, then, maybe Avowed could get us back on.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're fucking right. Like as a comparison point, I have spent more time smithing horseshoes in KCD2 than I have playing Avowed.
Nice mushroom, shepherd.
Wait. Oh, right, because I thought you meant like cock. I thought
No, just the mushrooms growing out of your head in Avowed.
Because that might also appeal to a lot of people.